Bed. Love.
Bed.
Bed.
Love. Beyond.
Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond. Welcome to Bed, Love, Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater and us to discuss sex, love, relationships, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love like us. I'm Jen.
I'm Miss April.
And we're back.
Hey, guys.
We only took 1 week off for Turkey Day. Calm yourselves. We had to eat. We had to eat with our families. Hope everyone enjoyed the holiday. If you celebrate, and keeping in mind people in London are like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's that holiday where the pilgrims came and killed the Indians and then tricked them into smallpox or something. I don't know. But it's the day where we choose to be thankful for things and spend time with friends and family. And that's what we spent the week doing instead of the podcast.
I feel like Thanksgiving's come a long way. It's kind of
It's
lost.
come a long way.
It's lost that historical. Like, we all know Columbus didn't discover anything, and they stole stuff from the Indians and killed them and gave them diseases, and like Thanksgiving is
Take
more
this
so.
blanket.
We hardly ever get together and have dinner, so we're gonna use this day as that day where, no matter what, well, sometimes it matters what, but most of the time, no matter what, everybody gets together on this day and we eat at least once a year.
Right.
Some people come from far away, so
Yeah.
it's a chance for family that doesn't live close to you to at least say, this is the time of year I go visit my family. So I think it's like evolved from, because some people still bring that up.
Right.
Like, why are you celebrating that? If you were Native American, you wouldn't be. I think it's kind of evolved from that. Like, we all get it.
Some people still bring it up, though.
Right. And it's like, I think most people, I think a large percentage of people get it.
I didn't watch the parade. Every Thanksgiving, they have a parade in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they do it anywhere else. Maybe in California.
That's a Macy's parade, right? Is that Macy's? Yeah.
They would do the big floats and stuff.
They had Diana Ross.
I know. First of all, can I just tell you that Diana Ross did something last night for the tree lighting too in New York City, and
She probably got an album coming out.
Probably. Tracy Ellis Ross was so cute on Instagram. She was like watching her mom on TV, and she's like, "Go, mama, go!" And she's like, "My mom is so pretty." I'm like, "Oh, that's really cute."
Yeah, it was one. I thought it was nice. One time she hosted. Was it the Soul Train Award? It was NAACP Award. No. It wasn't that. It was some kind of award show she hosted.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd come out and she said, "Oh, I'm wearing, Dolce & Gabbana or something."
Mm-hmm.
But it was one time she came out and she was like, "My pants are this, my necklace is that, and this blouse is from my mother's closet."
Aw.
And it was like one of those like mahogany blouses that Diana Ross. I thought that was cute.
She's so timeless. She's so awesome, Diana Ross.
And I mean, and when you watch mahogany, that stuff was fly. Diana Ross was wearing it, and that she designed all of it, like in real life. And those were some nice clothes, and they were different for that time. They were like, I mean, a lot of them I'd still wear today, but they were like different for that time. That's why it's a little off. But like when the I don't know if she was a housewife or something, somebody dressed up like Diana Ross and put the blackface on, and Megyn Kelly got fired. I'm like, if you would have put on something with those big cocoon sleeves,
the big
and big like frizzy big afro kind of long hair, everybody would have been like, "Who are you, Diana Ross?"
Right.
Like you didn't need the brown makeup.
You need to do that.
Like if you had that outfit on and big hair, people would have said,
Still got
that's what Diana Ross is known for.
Right.
Big hair and big flowy sleeves. So if you would have put that on, even sequins, Diana Ross always wears like a sequin gown or something, If you would have wore something like that, people would be like, "Oh, you must be Diana Ross."
Right. It didn't have to go all that
you
way.
didn't even need that.
People were also posting, they were like, "Oh my God, the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is so racist." I'm like, haven't we had this conversation already? What the fuck? I'm like, y'all just need
I heard that before, but I don't remember why.
Because everyone's seated on one side of the table, and I don't know the black kid's name, and he's just on by one side by himself.
I think I saw that one time, Charlie Brown. I've never really seen it. Yeah, I don't even think I saw the whole thing.
But we all got together, and we went to go see Creed 2. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it definitely was.
It was definitely worth seeing. Then we all got together and broke bread. That was fun. All the little kids are so cute. Anything new going on in your neck of the woods?
Not much going on. Not much going on.
Are you having any trouble? I'm having a lot of trouble. Well, we were upstairs discussing Apple Watches, but I really don't know what to get my boyfriend for Christmas. And he took it upon himself to buy me a TV, which I'm still not fully convinced is for me. I've watched it like for 5 minutes so far. Actually, no, a little longer than that. I watched Empire before. I was like, it looks the same as it did on the 60-inch, but okay. Thanks, babe. But I don't know. I don't know if that's a whole episode worthy, but buying men gifts is...
It's hard, too, when people tend to, like, get themselves what they want.
Right.
I mean, like, I think when you get to a certain age, you just get yourself what you want all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like when you're 20, you're like, I don't really have no money. When you're 30, you're like, I don't know. When you have kids, you're like, I get my kids. But when you kind of like a single person that's doing all right, you see something, you just get it.
Right.
So it's like, it's hard to get gift for somebody like that because most likely they have mostly what they want.
Right. I don't know. I'm about to get some Tommy Johns and flannel shirts. That's what he's getting. I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes, too, if you look like Amazon and places like that have gift suggestions, just scroll through and just maybe like, something will catch.
That's cool.
Yeah, something will catch your eye. Yeah.
Like gifts for nerds, gifts for authors, gifts for that. I'm like, oh.
Gifts for people who like this or like doing that. Yeah.
Like, damn it.
Something will catch your eye. You're like, oh, yeah, he would like, because, I don't know. It's hard sometimes.
I think I'm going to get my roommate.
The fuck out. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
That was amazing. Yeah, that too. Last year I got him towels so he'd stop using mine. Didn't work. But since I saw my comforter on his bed, I might get him a bed set.
It's a new store called At Home across from Willowbrook Mall.
Oh my God, so amazing.
They had comforter sets. Was it 15 piece? 10 piece for $25?
Get out.
Gone.
Really?
Gone. I was like, they had bathroom rug. These
they have really nice things. So they have the bathroom rug.
Like the sets.
With the shower curtain thing and everything.
$25.
Get out.
But they had a set of like three rugs or like the top of the toilet seat thing.
Right.
A rug that goes around the toilet and another rug. $10. Gone.
Damn. That store is crazy.
Yeah.
You walk in there and you're like, I don't know what I need, but I think I need something.
But it's not a bad deal, that whole shower set for $25. That's not a bad deal.
Because then if it goes like in a couple months, you don't feel bad about it, you know?
Yeah. The shower curtain could cost you $20 to $30 sometimes, depending. So. Yeah. Pretty good. If anybody lives in this area, At Home, go there. It's a good, nice store.
I like it.
It's like an IKEA, but well, no, it's not.
It's not like an IKEA. It's like a Home Goods.
Like Home Goods,
on
but bigger.
Steroids.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really
like bigger. But they have kind of like IKEA-ish stuff, but not IKEA style. But I mean the categories of stuff: spoons and rugs and towels and.
You know you're getting old when you like enjoy those stores. When you're like, oh, Home Goods. You're like, oh, like I want a juicer. Like what?
25% off area rugs.
It's so exciting. So I'm trying to think if anything else happened newsworthy since we last met, but I don't think so. I don't know. The day is like a blur to me. I gotta really write stuff down. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that seems important. But I'm not really watching Married at First Sight or the one where they're taking care of their babies. I don't give a fuck.
It is a show on Oprah's network called Ready. I don't know if it's Ready to Love or Ready for Love, but it's one of them. And it started off with, I want to say, 18 single people, 12 guys. No, 12 girls, 7 guys, or 6 guys, I want to say. The reason they did that because it takes place in Atlanta. And in Atlanta, it's 20 women to every 1 man.
Damn.
So to be realistic, they made it unproportionate or disproportionate or whatever the word is. Because realistically, that's the way it is in their city. There's more women than men. So women are having a problem finding a single man or a faithful man or and men are having. I guess men ain't really having no problems finding women because it's 20 women to every one man.
Right.
So I guess they don't really have an issue, but they're there. And,
they're there.
Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show is the host. So basically, the women get to eliminate the guys, and the guys get to sit and discuss the women and eliminate which women, and then they have to tell them to their face that they're being eliminated. And the men had a very difficult time with that.
Oh.
And
with the truth.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And
shocking.
And what actually bothered me about it is the women that flipped out.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so there's a woman on there, right? And there's this guy. He's extremely charming. Mm-hmm. So a good percentage of the women liked him. Right. His name's Aaron. So it's this one lady that got like super attached to Aaron and somehow started talking like he was her boyfriend already. So, and she made it seem like
she's like, if you build it, they will come.
Right. And it did seem like it might have been some things Aaron might have been saying to her off camera
to make her
kind of feed it. Mm-hmm. And then he said, well, it's almost like he kind of talk in circles, and you have to be careful with him. So it's almost like, well, I didn't tell her that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Well, no, you didn't say that. But what you did say had a tone to it that seemed like that's what you were saying, that you liked her, that she was somebody you interested in. And now you didn't say, yeah, I'm going to pick you, or yeah, you didn't say it directly. Right. But you talked around the, Right.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So she got all into him and all wrapped up, and then he doesn't like her like that. And I knew from the moment the woman first spoke, I said, that woman is crazy. The fact that you didn't know Aaron, that's on you. But when she's like, oh, I'm gonna cook for him because you all know a way to a man's heart is his stomach, and I just want to kiss him, and I just want, that's my man. Aaron is my man. I'm like, she's crazy, and she's gonna flip out. She's gonna lose her shit. So he had to tell her, and of course she went off, and she's like, you're weak. And she went off, and she was just going on. That's not what she was telling me on the phone 1:00 in the morning, and just
damn.
And then she got up and walked out of the restaurant, and I'm just like, dude. I knew within 5 seconds of this lady opening her mouth, she was crazy. Like, I just think men don't take cues. I don't know what it was, but I knew right away. I'm like, this lady's crazy. As soon as he doesn't pick her, she gonna flip out.
Oh my! And she did.
And she did. And you could just tell, like, she came on so strong. He should have backed off immediately. But I appreciate the fact that Nephew Tommy, the show reinforces men being honest. You don't like Nephew Tommy is like almost
is that
a little.
His name, Nephew Tommy?
That's what he calls himself. I don't know the name, just Thomas. I don't know, but that's his
like I
stage.
Can say Uncle Tommy, but like Nephew Tommy, I don't know if that's a thing. Or maybe like, it is in the South. Who knows?
Yeah, well, yeah, because sometimes older guys will be like, "What's up, nephew?"
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg says it sometimes.
Yeah,
but he, he really. Sometimes I almost like grimace, like, "Eek." Tommy being a little harsh, but he's like, is that what you said though? But that's not what you said. Are you feeding these ladies like crap? Like,
so he calls them out on this shit.
Yeah,
nice.
He calls them out. But did you say that though? That's not what you tell her. And yeah, so he kind of he called them out. So that's a good show.
I'll have to check it out.
But yeah, he's making them be honest, and the ladies have to some ladies getting a little attached and a little, I was just like, it was one girl, she was very, 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 very silly. And she got eliminated because she was too silly, like too jokey.
Like, just thought everything was a joke.
Everything was a joke, everything. And the guy's just kind of sitting there looking at her like, okay, can we have a serious conversation? Like, she didn't flip out, but she was kind of a little like, she caught an attitude.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But she didn't she was just like, okay, I'm just going to be Christina. I'm just going to stay Christina. And she walked out. She didn't really flip out.
You've been eliminated, Christina.
You can tell she wasn't, happy. But it's a pretty good show. I just like the fact that they make these people be honest.
My garbage TV started again. Love and Hip Hop. I haven't watched the first episode yet. I have to
New York?
New York. Like, all the trifling women are back with their trifling boyfriends. I can't wait. I'll have to watch it. Well, I'll have to see if I can get it on Hulu or something. Maybe not. I don't know if it comes on Hulu. But, oh my God, I didn't even tell you what episode it is. You know it. You wrote it. Thanks. It's episode 139, guys. Getting up there. Miss Fix It. So a bunch of people wrote in, sent us some ideas, and these have come from those ideas. And the first one is a video that's kind of like circulating around the internet. And what's his name? Jackson?
Pastor John Gray.
Oh yeah, Pastor John Gray. I don't really get. Basically, he was like bragging that he was broken and a child. That's what I got from it. And that his wife, like, quote unquote, like raised him and like into the man that he is.
He used the term birthed him.
Yeah.
And that she had, he said something like, she probably endured more pain birthing me than our children.
That's so fucked up.
All the comparing his grown ass to birthing, it was just weird to me to keep him using the word birthed him.
So we can put the video on the webpage. Obviously, we can't play it now for copyright reasons. But he basically said that, you know, he was birthed by his wife, and I don't know. The thing, it just kind of annoyed me because, like, all I kept saying throughout the whole thing was, like, why did somebody have to do that?
When I'm curious how long. Did he say they've been together 8 years? Or?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Because I was just.
It was like a significant amount of time.
And this man was on the show that the singer Selena Johnson. It's some kind of like I don't know if it comes on BT or one of those channels. It's like a show she hosts. And he has his own show on OWN network. So that's how people know. That's why he's being interviewed. It might be like in season 3, maybe. Season 4. He has a show on OWN about his life and him. I think he was with Joel Osteen's church. And then he went.
Okay.
And I think he was like an assistant pastor. And then I think he went on to be head pastor at another church. But he started off under, I guess studying under or working under Joel Osteen. So I guess that's how he got attention. Because that's like a really big church.
I'm trying to see if there's like a transcript of it somewhere.
And then he says his wife was a covering for him because a covering lets you be free or breathe, but a lid keeps you covered and suppresses your dreams or something. It's a lot of... I think a lot of what he says is for entertainment value, man of God or not. I think a lot of it's entertainment and flashy words and little, quotable tidbits or little sound bites or whatever you want to call that, what he's saying. That's what I think that is.
There's like the same thing I said to you the other day, that I saw this meme that said a good like woman, a good wife, I guess I think it said, makes a good husband. And I'm like, or something to that nature. Is that what I told you I saw?
It sounds like it.
Or a good wife makes a good man. Something like that. But it's like, shouldn't it be a good mother makes a good man? Like, that was like my thoughts as soon as I saw it. Because I'm just like, why is it a woman's responsibility as a girlfriend or a wife to teach you how to become a man? Like, I feel like somewhere...
When she met you as a grown...
Right.
Man. She wasn't around when you were 5. She met you grown up.
So I was just kind of like... I don't know. Like, it just bothered me. I'm trying to just find this. I don't see anything.
But there has been a lot of talk about... this whole ride or die chick mentality, and people are tired of it. Like, I mean, women are kind of getting hip to it. Like, I don't have to be ride or die. I don't have to, I have a little clip. Hold on, maybe this will do something.
The man that I am, I married a woman 2 sizes too big. I have to grow into Aventer. She's a coat. I still can't fit her. She's bigger than me. And she's had to cover me while I grow up. I got to grow into her.
So she's a covering.
She's a covering, not a lid.
Ooh, that's
Because if a man marries a lid, she'll stop your dream.
What?
But if you marry a covering, she'll push you to your destiny. Now, I'm about to shout and tear this whole thing up. I'm just telling you.
All the way out of this too.
Let me tell you something. My wife has endured more pain birthing me than both of our children. She has sacrificed these last 8 years uncovering the painful areas of my manhood and covering the areas that could have exposed me. She deserves anything I can give her. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm going to live the rest of my life to honor her because she gave me what I couldn't give myself, which is a chance to heal while still seeing the God in.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I appreciate that he gives his wife credit
course.
for helping him, and I like that he realizes that. I mean, I hate to use the word owe, but he owes her for being there. I guess at a time when she could have left him, she could have not dealt with it, and she did. So that's good of him to credit her with that. But I don't think it's almost like if you don't do that, you kind of get judged. Almost like if you like, nah, you got too much going on. I don't, that ain't for me. It's almost like I remember one day on the Breakfast Club, they were talking about like guys not having jobs, and then Angela Yee said I was dating a guy one time that lost his job and he got really depressed, and I was trying to help him find another job, and he just fell so much in this deep depression that it was almost like he like I couldn't help him.
Right.
Like I was trying to help him. He wouldn't take my help. He wasn't responding. And she had to walk away. And Charlamagne goes, maybe you're not as good a woman as you think you are.
What?
And I was like, whoa. Like,
he always says extra shit though.
Right. And it's just like, that's his personality. But as fast as he said it, I can tell it wasn't a thought put into it. He just said it.
Right.
Like he didn't hesitate. And I'm just like, why is that not being a good woman? Because, like, okay, your wife, Charlamagne met his wife when she was 16. DJ Envy met his wife when she was 16. Okay, they've been through thick and thin and all this cheating and all this stuff with you guys. Y'all met as teenagers.
Right.
So that's a completely different situation than two people meeting at 35 years old or 30 years old or even 28 or 29. It's like, okay, she knew you from when you were a kid. Sometimes people do stick around longer because she's with you while you becoming a man and figuring out who you are, and y'all together through all that. But a lot of people aren't. People are meeting at 30, 35, 40 years old now. Like, I don't have to stick with you through shit. Like, if I don't know you, I mean, once we're married and we're going to want to go through some stuff. But
I feel like when he said I had to grow into her, like, I do feel like women are a little bit more mature than men 9 times out of 10. And I told him to clean that, goddamn. and I feel like, you know, to a degree, you need to grow into whoever you're with. Because they're different than you. You know, we do things differently. We act differently. Our maturity levels are always different. But, like, I don't want to meet somebody as a grown man who, like, I don't even know what he means by he had to grow. Like, he had a lot of baggage. But, like, I don't know. I mean,
personally, I think that he should have went into detail about what was going on. If you want to tell the story, tell it.
Right.
What she had to cover you, put a lid on it. Why? What was going on? What was wrong with you? I mean, if you're really trying to help another dude, or you're not trying to help another couple or be inspirational, maybe he's selling a book. Sometimes that's the case. Maybe he wants you to buy his book. I don't know. You don't want to tell too much, but I mean, I think you need to go into what was going on. What you know, you don't tell all your business, but if you're trying to help somebody, I mean, or you want people to relate to your story, I mean, if a guy is listening to that, another guy is listening that might be going through something, or a couple, I can't see anybody relating to that. Because what's wrong? What happened? You know what I mean? Like, you're not saying what's going on. So
I feel like to a degree, everyone comes with their own baggage to a relationship that may not be out in the open when you first meet someone. You grow and then you realize, like, oh, you know, like, some shit's going on here that you haven't dealt with, and I'll help you deal with it. But the way he made it seem was like that he was like a child, even though he was a grown man,
and she had to raise him,
right? And I just didn't like it. I was just like, why? Like.
And it's almost like this is what good wives do. That's almost like the message he was trying to send.
That's how I felt about it too.
Right. It's almost like, and then this whole ride or die chick thing has run its course. You don't have to be ride or die. You don't.
I saw another meme the other day. Something like, sometimes you need to be the person when someone else is struggling that they won't give up on them. Like, to what degree?
Right.
Because, like, if you steal shit from me or, you know, you're, like, constantly going down the wrong path and I'm constantly dragging you back to the other side, at some point that gets exhausting and you have to say, I've done everything I can. I have to let go. Mm-hmm. Like, it starts to, like, damage you as a person. And, like, I feel like that's not always, like, the right message to give people. Like,
my thing always is when a guy is, like, if a guy says to you, oh, Jen, you left him because he got depressed and couldn't come out of his depression and get another job. You're not that good of a woman. Would you tell your daughter that?
Right.
Because I wouldn't tell my daughter that.
No.
I would tell my daughter, you do not have to spend the rest of your life with somebody that can't pick themselves up. You don't have to. I can understand you feel bad for this person. You care about the person. You want them to be better, do better. You see potential in them, but they don't see it in themselves, and you don't have to spend your life waiting for them to see it. That's what I would tell my daughter. So I don't like when guys tell women things that they wouldn't tell their daughter. Like, you expect a woman to ride for this man?
How many men are going to do it?
Right. Because when shit get hard, men already out there looking at another piece of ass.
Right. Most men.
You know, like, it doesn't mean you're going to go after it. Right. But your mind leaves.
You're like, oh, things got hard. Let me go where it's easy.
Right. Like I don't know what to do, so I'm going to just, like, go to the strip club.
Right.
And drink and look at ass. I'm not saying all men cheat. But I'm saying you kind of check out.
Mentally check out, absolutely.
You mentally check out. You do. And it is some things, and it's not about, like, you know, gender equality, and we know what men and women do these things. But right now we talking about men and how women see it. And when men and women do react different to things. We react, even though both people do the action, but the reaction is different coming from two genders. And men are not given the message that they have to be ride or die.
No.
They're not given that message. Like, they're given the message that a woman comes to him complete. And she's there to fix him. That's the message society, parents, people send to their, and it's like, I just, sometimes I say to myself, is that what I would tell? Like, I hear men say certain stuff. I'm like, is that what you would tell your daughter? I don't think so. Like, is that what you're going to tell your little princess? That she got to sit around waiting for this man to get his shit together? Like,
and then fix him.
Right. Or would you want your daughter, like whatever, if you're not doing her mother right, is that how you want your daughter to, a man to treat her? Is that, you know, and me personally, I would not tell my daughter that. Like, I didn't send you to school. I didn't raise you this way. I didn't try to give you everything for you to sit around fixing people. I mean, unless it's your profession. But
that's exhausting too. So.
And it's different from you get married, the person is going through something and you there for them.
Right.
Or you meet somebody and they're already working on their shit.
Right.
And you see them working on it. And you're like, okay, I see this person clearly taking steps to be better. So, okay.
I can assist.
Right. I'll give you a shot. I'll support you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I totally get that. But when somebody is just all over the place.
Right.
And you're like, oh, project, nah.
I always think about my ex-boyfriend, the one of 7 years, and the mom was like, I went to his room and his room was a mess. I'm like, the fuck does that have to do with me?
Right.
Like, he lived in your house for 16, 17, 18 years. Like, why didn't you teach him to put his clothes in the laundry? Why? I'm not even, I was like barely 21. Or no, I was like 22 probably at that point because we were dating a little bit. But I was like, why did that become my responsibility?
And then the thing, if mom's giving you that message or coming at you like that, so what's the message he's getting from that?
Right.
That the woman I have is supposed to
take care of everything.
Take care of me or what I don't know she has to show me or teach me. Because, I mean, that's kind of the message mom's sending. Like, you get to be messy and then you move in with another woman and be messy with her until she shows you how to be clean. And right.
No thanks.
And people need to, I agree with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, people, you need to get happy and get yourself together and come to the person complete.
Right.
And I get myself together and I get happy and I come to you happy and complete. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have more work to do.
Right.
But it just means that I'm not going to sit around waiting for you to make me happy. Like, it's not going to happen. Like somebody, you cannot. That's too much of a burden for anybody to bear. Like I don't like when people say my kid. I told my kids I'm not happy. I told them my kids make me happy. Why?
Yeah.
You need to get happy without it's not your kid's responsibility to make you happy.
Or some people have kids because they think it's going to bring them happiness.
Right. And it's like that.
Like my life isn't complete. If I have a child, everything will be better.
Everything will be, yeah.
Shit's going to get really hard before it even has like a glimmer of better.
The kid will love me unconditionally and I'll be happy because it's not going to happen that way. And that's too much of and people will start to feel that burden. Mm-hmm. They'll start to feel it. You don't have to say it. You don't have to tell them. People will start to feel that I don't. If I do this, my mom will be sad.
Right.
If I do this, my dad won't. I don't want my dad to be sad or upset, or my mom to be. I don't want to make my parents unhappy, and that's too much of a burden to bear. It's too much for anybody. Like even if you boyfriend and girlfriend, it's like, am I making you happy? That's a question people ask a lot, and it's almost like. That shouldn't be a question anybody asks. It shouldn't exist. Am I making you happy? Are you happy with yourself? Should be really the question. And if you're not, what is it you need to do to make yourself happy? And how can I support you in that? Because it's not the other person's responsibility. It's not. You have to. And Will Smith said, he told Jada, you go do what you got to do to be, whatever it is you need to do to be happy, and then come back.
And she did.
And she did. She didn't say what she did or where she went, but got that kind of money, goddammit, you go somewhere.
She was doing rock band shit.
Yeah. But I mean, and basically that was the right. He wasn't making her happy, and he was trying, and it wasn't working because he couldn't. He wasn't. She needed to make herself happy, and he needed to make himself happy. So, and you come to some sort of middle ground. But the reason we called this episode "Miss Fix It" is because that burden is put on women to fix a man, and it shouldn't be. And I think I threw in here about like gender roles in the church, because I mean, I don't know about other churches, but in the black church it's heavy. You the first lady, you gotta sit propped up there with a big ass hat on your head. Black churches don't play, man. You gotta play that role. You gotta sit in there, the big hat on in church every Sunday, involved in all the activities in the front row. You gotta be a role model. You the first lady of the church. You gotta, you gotta sit up there and be goddamn Michelle Obama in the church. That's how black. I don't know how Catholic, Protestant, Presbyterian. I don't know how those churches roll when when your husband is the pastor. But I feel like religion, the Bible, Christianity in general is very patriarchal.
Yeah.
So it's like when he talks like that, I genuinely Pastor John Gray and pastors like him do feel like I got this woman on my side to pick up where I leave off.
This article I was reading says we refer to this as the woman raising a man. It's actually trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is when a victim and an abuser form a connection that makes it impossible to leave, which is Stockholm Syndrome. Makes it impossible to leave the relationship no matter how much damage it's doing, much like the relationship between Michelle and Chad, which we didn't hear about. These bonds are formed by the tactics narcissists use. In situations like these, you just have to be prepared to say those people aren't healthy for you and let them go. So the article agreed that the shit that he was saying was a little far-fetched.
Michelle and Chad is Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child.
Oh.
And her boyfriend Chad, who now have their own reality show.
Why?
She broke up with him a couple of times because of her depression.
Oh, he asked her if she was taking her meds.
Yeah, when she said something to him like, "You don't understand because you're white," and he was like, "Did you take your meds?" Yeah. So, and I was like, "He's white." I thought he was black. I'm like, "You sure you're white?" Because I don't know. Looking at him, I thought he was. I don't know. I thought he was a light-skinned black dude. No.
Let's look him up. I don't know.
That goes to show you how ridiculous race is. Cause
is he white?
Yeah, allegedly.
Oh.
That's just another example. Every day I see more and more examples of how ridiculous race is.
Well, look at that.
And that's another one. I'm like, I didn't even know. I thought the man was black.
Got a little olive complective thing going on there.
Yeah. I guess he identifies
he
white.
He might get his beard done at a black barber shop because it is looking right.
I'm assuming. I guess he identifies as white, but
all right, he's handsome.
So, and I don't know if maybe the term has already been coined, but I coined it toxic loyalty.
Okay.
I feel like people are loyal to the point where it's toxic. It's a toxic relationship. You're in a toxic situation, and it's ruining your life being loyal to somebody. It's like when it, like you said, like when it to what extent?
I don't know. I like a friend of a friend of mine. I won't put her as your friend. She's going through like a terrible situation now too, and I just have to ask her, like, at what point do you say this is enough? Like, at what point can you sit there and say, I don't want to do this anymore? Like, this is not healthy. Like, I understand when you love somebody, like, we've all, maybe not all of us, but okay, I've done some really stupid things, and like, you keep putting more and more of yourself into this and hope that the person gets better and that the situation fixes itself, and you stay like, you know, enhanced in this imagination land of like, oh, remember when we were in love? It's just going to be like that again. It's not, FYI. Sorry to be a spoiler alert. But, you know, how much do you put in before you're like, I can't do this anymore? Like,
and how much before you say, I've already done enough?
Right.
Not how much more can I do, or when's enough? Like haven't I done enough?
I've done all that I can do. That it's taken away like who you are as a person. Like.
And then that goes into your self-value. How much do you value yourself?
And at that point, I don't think you do.
Yeah.
Because you've already like given so much of yourself, you don't even remember who you are anymore.
Because that pep talk would be a whole lot different if you have a lot of you have a lot of stock in yourself and who you are as a person, and you strong in this is who I am, this is what I believe in, and I'm a good person and I deserve better. Right. Like, if that's the pep talk you're giving yourself, is that. You finish.
Right.
But if you're, well, I'm not a good person if I walk away, or I'm not, I'll feel bad if I walk away, or, you know, I can't just abandon. Like, when you telling yourself, I can't do these things because I'll look bad, or I'll feel bad, or I'm bad if I do, I'm not a good person if I do. It's not even about the other person anymore. It's about you now. Like, it's about you. And it's almost like a little, I mean, it's not narcissistic, but it's almost like you're with this person because of you, not because of them.
Some people are just masochists.
Yeah.
They just like the self-destruction, and they like being miserable all the time. I really, really believe there's some people that, like, if there's not drama going on, they're like, oh, now what? Like, but because I don't know if they ever know what happiness feels like.
Yeah. All they know is that muddy.
And I was like trying to like explain to her, I was like, I don't really think until like, I mean, my last relationship, and even though that he wasn't like world's best guy ever, but I feel like that relationship taught me like, oh, a healthy relationship isn't so bad. Like, this is nice. Like, we do normal things, we have normal conversations, and okay, it didn't work out, but like I got a taste of like what normality was, and I was like, oh, I want this, and I don't want anything other than this, and we'll just keep aiming higher. Tell my boyfriend all the time, I was like, if you don't work out, I was like, something better is coming along. I was like, that's just the way things have been going, and I won't accept anything less. And I think you have to really tell yourself that, you know what the shit show is, and don't go back and look for that. And you might have to like date outside of your comfort zone, but
right,
you know.
And my mom always told me from when I was younger, a man's only gonna do to you what you allow him to do. So it's almost like if things is out of control, and this guy is taking advantage of you, or using your stealing your money, or disrespecting your home, or all these things are going on, it's because you're allowing it. And it keeps going back to you. You're allowing it. You're staying in the situation. It's toxic. You know it. You won't let go. It's something in you that feels like you've made it about yourself.
Right.
Because you're not helping the person.
You're forgiving them every time. So
you're not helping them, because if you was helping them, then you failed because they're not doing better. So you're not helping them. So why are you there? Because whatever you're doing that you think you're helping is not helping.
No, sometimes the savior becomes like the enabler, and then you're like, oh, I am the problem. Fuck.
Right. So it's like the person is doing all these things, and things are becoming worse. You're not helping.
Right.
So what's the next step? And to do something over and over again with the same result is the definition of crazy.
Yep.
So, and then to, kind of, and then things become all, this whole blurred, all this manipulation, and when all these things start going on and other people get dragged into it and affected by it, it's kind of like, now you losing your people.
Right.
Now nobody doesn't want to deal with you.
Right.
You want to live a toxic life, you can't spread that shit around. People don't want to do, when people value their life and their time and their,
Seriously, I know I feel like I might say this every year, but I think it's maybe because it gets to the end of the year and I get fed up. But, like, I'm not saying you can't come to me with your problems. Like, if you got something going on, we could talk about it once or twice. That's the theme music to my speech. But I really just, I realize that, like, people who are, like, super traumatic, my neighbor and friends that I have.
Can't hear you.
I feel like she might listen to the podcast one day. She's gonna be like, "What, bitch?" Just like, I just don't know how much of it I can take. I think I'm just drained.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I really don't. I just don't want to do it. End of the year, I come to my fill, and I'm like, oh, 2019, new me. I'm not doing this.
And I think sometimes too, when people hear social worker, they're like, oh.
Like, oh, let me tell you stuff.
Right. I can call you. And you're like, listen, yeah, I clocked out.
Like, yeah, I'm like,
like, literally, I clocked out.
Not today.
Yeah. I clocked out at 5. Nah.
No.
But you know what I tend to do too, because we can all get caught up in getting, I call it being comfortable in your misery, or being comfortable in bad situations, or being comfortable in this is bothering me, but I'm not going to say anything.
Right.
And I've come to the point where I've started expiring problems. Like, even I've started to say it, and I'm not going to say it anymore, because you know what? I've said it 3 times. And I haven't done anything about it yet, and don't nobody want to fucking hear it a 4th time. Like, I've literally said that to myself in my head, like, I'm gonna expire that, because like, I haven't solved it yet. I probably know what I need to do, I just haven't done it, and don't nobody want to hear the shit. Like, and I've said to myself, like, literally, like, would I want to hear this being spoken to me?
You're like, I don't even want to talk about it again. I'm so pissed at myself.
Right, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like, it's old. Like, I've literally said this to myself. This is old, April. It's getting old. Either fix the shit, or either fix it, or just let it go. That's all you can do.
Right.
Like, literally, that's all you can do. You're either gonna fix it, or just stop talking about it, let it go, or write the shit down.
Yeah.
Like,
Table that for
sometimes,
another time.
like, I literally, live in person, real time, I write something down. In real time, I write something down and let it go at the same time. Mm-hmm. I don't even reread it. I'm like, in my journal, I'm like, I scratch it, or if I put it on my blog or something like that, I've let it go. Mm-hmm. I don't even think about it no more. Sometimes that's what you got to write the shit down, and it's like, you know what? I'm done with it. It's out there.
Expire. I like it.
I some problems I'm expired. I'm like, listen, this is getting old. Shit is over. It was fucking 4 weeks ago. I don't know. It'll pass.
Right.
But sometimes you gotta be like, do you really think anybody want to hear this again?
Like, if I haven't come up with a solution by now.
Like, sometimes stop yourself. Like sometimes, like, did I already tell Jen this? Like, I ain't gonna say nothing. We don't discuss this. Like, literally, people already discuss. Like, because one day, and I'm like, I have to check myself too. Because one day, I told my mom, like, Mom, we discussed this 3 fucking times. How are we still talking about this? And I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna check myself too. Next time I'm about to say something that I already said like 15 times, I'm gonna stop myself. Like, no, I already said this. You get the fuck over it, or whatever the case is. But you gotta expire your problems. Nobody wants to keep. Like, your friends don't deserve that. Look at it that way.
Right.
Like, your friends don't deserve it. You brought it to your friend. They gave you your opinion. This is what you should do. You didn't do the shit. Next.
Sometimes though, like, when people don't come to you, that sometimes they're not ready to deal with the facts. You know what I mean? Like,
especially if you know that you're that friend that's gonna give it straight.
Like, asked my friend, I was like, has so-and-so reached out to you about all this? She's like, no. She's like, she knows what I'm gonna say already. I was like, damn, how'd I get involved in this? Damn it. I asked if she was okay.
But
mind your business, Jen.
You gotta expire your You gotta expire when it comes to talking to people about it. Stop talking about it. Stop. Like I was watching Iyanla one day, and Iyanla said to the girl, "You keep telling the same story the same way over and over again.
Right.
Stop telling the story. Learn all the facts about the story and move on." Because you telling the same story, almost like you got it memorized. I did this, I did that, and then this happened, and my mama said this, and my daddy said that, my brother said that, and then we went down the street.
What drives me crazy is like
it's
people
like,
who
stop telling the story,
who know the answer, and then I'm like, well, if you knew that, like I have a friend who apparently she has like relationship OCD, and she always thinks that like when her boyfriend says something, he's like sexualizing things or whatever, but then she'll tell you in the next sentence about how he's like a really decent dude and how he doesn't have sex with just anyone, that he takes like relationships very seriously, and he's not like that, and he looks down upon people who are like that. And I'm like, so why every time he says something do you think that it's coming from like a perverted place if you know better? And that's just how I am. But you know better.
That's how you choose to be.
Like, choose another narrative.
Right. And sometimes, exactly, that's stop telling the same story.
Right.
Tell yourself a different story. It's exactly right. Like, and the other thing too is, don't get caught up in a label. Sometimes when some people like, oh, I'm passive aggressive. Okay, but you don't have to be.
Right.
Like, don't get caught up in this categories and labels. Like, I have relationship OCD. No, the fuck you don't. You just paranoid that he might be an undercover asshole.
We all are a little bit. I mean, but we just get through it.
Right. Like, just don't trust that he's a good dude. And if he turns out he's not a good dude, you didn't do anything wrong. You tried.
You did the best.
You tried. You believed in him. He failed. Move on. It's nothing you could do. Like, you gotta, another thing she says, Iyanla's my friend in my head. She said,
my friend,
you gotta trust yourself. And trusting yourself, part of trusting yourself is trusting that you're making the right decision to trust somebody else.
Right.
So if you trust yourself, I've always not always said it, but I always tend to say, I feel like I'm a good judge of character. If I picked you in my life, I'm a pretty good judge of character. If you were like a jerk off, I would have known. So I trust myself. I trust that I pick the right people. I usually don't really pick people that are awful people to be in my life. Like, I usually do a good job. Friends, boyfriends, whatever. And if I do realize you ain't right, I walk away. So, I trust my judgment when it comes to people. I'm like, yeah, she's a good person, or he's a good person, or they're cool. So, if you trust your judgment, then you got to kind of get to the point where you're like, all right, I trust that this person is a good person.
But that's like taking the time to know who you are, and I don't think a lot of people do that.
Right. And it doesn't mean it's going to work out just because you were a good person. It might be it could be a great guy. And you're like, I'm a great girl. I was a good girlfriend. He was a good boyfriend, but we're not soulmates.
Sometimes people are good people, just not good boyfriend or girlfriends.
We're not soulmates. That's all. It doesn't. Everything is not going to be like a big tragic. It's just like, well, it was nice while it lasted, but unfortunately, this is not going to go any further.
Relationships.
Yeah, this is not going to go any further. You got to move on. But
the other thing that was sent to us was, I'm gonna get back to that article. It has nothing to do with the podcast. But a new pizzeria is opening, and I think you might want to know about it.
Is it Pizza Nostra?
Yes.
Oh,
we going.
The
Mob Wives.
Yeah.
The Mob Wives opened a new pizzeria in New Jersey. I'm here for that. I don't think I have any family in the mafia. I think I want to just start telling people I do, though. Actually, well, it's not really my family then, but it's like my aunt's, my mom's sister's husband, his family possibly has people in the mafia, because I don't know, when we went to this Sicilian restaurant in Little Italy, people were like kissing rings and shit, and my mom's like, they're connected. I was like, connected with what? I was like, what
like, never mind, Jen.
She's like, shut up. I was like, okay. Food's really good there. It's called Il Cortile. It's on Mulberry Street. Anyway, so the article was sent. It was a thing. It says, "Hey Queen, so check this out. I met a woman last week at my part-time job and invited her out. My finances changed between now and then. So yesterday I invited her to a place that serves a community meal every day. I eat there about 5 times a week, and sometimes I volunteer there too, giving back to my community. Anyways, when she arrived, she was acting very bougie, like she was too good to be there. Maybe you can imagine what kind of people use the community meal service. On the other hand, the way I looked at it is neither of us were spending any money, and it was an opportunity for us to get to know each other. This is the reason why so many of you are single. Your standards are too high and too unrealistic. Humble yourselves, or you just might miss out on a chance with a good brother." So this is for the single black woman. But to be honest with you, if you brought me to a food thing, I'd be like, okay.
I think he might have misinterpreted her being caught off guard as being acting like she was too good to.
I wish he would have explained her actions a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was she like, plastic forks? Ugh.
Right. Or yeah. I have a feeling though it could have been her. I mean, this would have been could have quite possibly been my reaction. Like, what? You know, like what, my eyes going around. And it's not that I'm too good to eat at a community meal, but my thing is, you have to eat here. I don't.
Right.
Your finances changed. Mine didn't. I could have sat down at a table and ate. I could have sat down in a restaurant and ate. I could be eating. I wanted some pasta today. I could have been somewhere eating it. Like, I think that's what he has to understand. Like, you didn't invite me out to a meal. You invited me somewhere. Everybody got invited because
of their finances changing.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think that situation is fair at all to say, oh, she thought she was too good for that. It's not about being too good. It's that, I was in a situation. I worked at a group home, and there was a staff there that thought it was a good idea to take the people from the group home to where the church feed the homeless. Mm-hmm. And I guess, homeless or if you just need a hot meal.
Right.
I personally didn't agree with it because the people in the group home have food stamps and there's petty cash and there's groceries. There's things in the group home. And it was almost like, this is like a free night. We don't have to cook. Let's take them down to the church.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, they're not poor to that point, right, where they live in a group home that's financed and they have food stamps and they have groceries and food in their house. They really, like, my problem with it was, we don't need to be here. There are people.
It'd be one thing if they were volunteering and then they got a meal out of it,
right?
But
my thing was, we don't need to be here eating like overcooked Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Right.
We don't need to. There's people that need this food. There's people in the street that don't have anything. And we're taking a plate.
Right.
And I was like, I don't want anything. I was like, I'm not going to eat here because I feel like they don't have but so much. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, what if I'm taking a plate from somebody like
that needs it?
What if somebody's super hungry and they're like, we don't have no more. Right. And I ate and I have like money in my pocket. That's awful. And I'm like, these people don't need to be. And my thing, I was like, I'm not going to eat. And
if you went on a date with a dude though, and the first thing he did was like, oh, meet me at this address, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you walk in and it's a community food
you're probably assuming it's a restaurant.
You're like, I'd deal with a pizzeria at this point.
Right. I could have had 2 slices of pizza.
Right.
And I wouldn't, like, me personally, if a guy said meet me at Pizza Nostra or meet me at 129 whatever, and I look it up and it's Pizza Nostra and we just eat, I'm cool with that.
Right.
Like, we don't need like white linen tablecloths.
Right.
To have a date. We don't. So that's why I'm like, my thing would be, can you say her standards are too high if you would have invited her out for like a burger at Fuddruckers and she was cool with it? Like, you invited her to a community meal she didn't need to eat.
You didn't have to take her anywhere. You could have met her at the park, or you could have met her like, I don't know, like a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts or somewhere on the street just to chat. I don't know what the weather is at this time, but you know what I mean? Like, it didn't have to be there. Like,
or if you feel like a woman should be okay eating at that situation, then like you said, you could have met her somewhere else at a Starbucks or something like that. And you could have been like, listen, I would like to take you out to dinner soon with my finances. You know, get up to where you want them to be or whatever, but can we just meet for coffee?
Right.
You could have said that. I want to take you out to dinner right now. My finances ain't where I want them to be right now to take you out to dinner. But, we can sit and have a cup of tea.
I guess this kind of goes back to like the conversations that we had with Martini about dating, about him feeling like he wasn't financially prepared to do it. But, I mean, you can still get to know somebody while you're getting your shit together. His finances changed, so he wasn't able to do it. I mean. And
it doesn't have to be like a traditional. I think people get too much of life from TV.
Right.
Because do you see on TV, people go out to a date and it's a candlelit dinner and it's white linen tablecloths and you order a bottle of wine. That's it happens. It's real life, but it's TV also.
Right.
Because a lot of times people are just out getting a freaking hamburger and fries somewhere.
Right.
Like the first time me and Johnson sat down and ate, we was at the sandwich shop around the corner from his house, and I really didn't give a fuck. Like,
oh, the one in East Orange is good.
Sandwich Unlimited.
Yeah.
That's what we
That's
were.
a good date.
And he was like, this is not our real first date. And I'm like, dude,
this place is great. What are you talking about?
I'm like, it's not.
I mean, it looks like a cafeteria, kind of, right?
Right. Yeah, you kind of like move down the aisle, tell them what you want, pay at the end. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. But I
was like, shit, it's a sandwich. Like,
right.
I'm cool with my sandwich right now. But I don't think it's fair to say, oh, your standards is too high. That's why you don't have no man. Because I don't want to eat at the community center. Like, you invited her there because you didn't want to say you didn't have any money to take her out.
Right.
Your standards is obviously where hers is. Or else you should have been able to say, listen.
He said they met at his part-time job. Like, did she work there too, I wonder? Or
did he work there and she was like a customer or something? Yeah. But I feel like your standards is obviously to a certain place to even feel like you couldn't say, oh, well, can we just have a cup of coffee and do dinner another time? You didn't really have to necessarily say finance. You could have said, can we have a cup of coffee maybe at 4 or 5 o'clock? It doesn't have to be 7, 8 o'clock at night. You meet with somebody to get to know them.
Right. You have a part-time job. You're not working all day, buddy.
Right. You can ask her, can you meet at 5? Can I meet up with you, somewhere near your job when you get off a little early? That way you're not stopping her from eating dinner. She could still go have dinner and,
It sounds like dude was just looking for an excuse for it not to work.
Mm-hmm. Or excuse to make it like it's her fault.
Right.
Because, she's not accepting this situation. And I just think, too, people got to get out of what they see on TV. And a lot of times, too, people see TV tends to show women being forgiving about everything.
Right. Oh, don't worry.
Like, we fight, like, oh, wait, what? And then, like, this happened. And then the man and the woman have a fight. And then he apologizes. And then they run back to each other. And then it's okay. I'll stick with you through this whole thing. Like, I think people tend to get that from TV, too. I don't have to stick with you through anything. Like, I mean, like I said, once you're married, maybe it is a different level of support or commitment. It's a different level of commitment when you're married. But I've known you for 6 months. I ain't got to be ride or die. Like.
Not even at the fucking food pantry. Sorry.
Right. Like, being married is a different level of commitment. So in marriage, if you got a lot of stuff going on, but I feel like sometimes when somebody is not healed and all these things, maybe you should hold off on the marriage. Sometimes you could be in a committed relationship, living relationship, whatever kind of relationship, and not be married until you feel comfortable marrying the person. Like, people get very wrapped up in time. We've been together this time. We need to get married. We've been living together this long. We need to get married. The relationship's been 5 years. We need to get married. 5.5, 6. Like I said, I even said to John once, when we've made it to the 5th year mark, maybe marriage is in the cards for us. If we made it 5 years, but I'm still not in a rush. Like, I mean, I just feel like it needs to feel natural. It needs to feel organic. I don't want to feel like we have to get married right now because we've been together 5 years and I'm 34 and you're 34 and then we about to be 35 and we got to get married this year. Because it's going on. It's too much numbers involved.
Like math.
Like, I just wanted to be like, what do you think about getting married this year? I'm cool with it. All right, let's do it.
Yeah,
like, it needs to be a little more natural to me than, all this math and all these numbers and it's been this long. It says who? Who said? Whose rules is this? But I think, women being misfixed, women have to, because sometimes you can be fixing them for years and years and you find yourself 40 and you right back where you started.
You become broken.
Because that man was a fix-a-flat when you met him, and he's still a goddamn
fix-a-flat.
And you still was fixing a flat 10 years later, and then now you decided to walk away, and now you're a statistic, 41-year-old unmarried black woman with no children, because you trying to fix this man up for the last 10 years. Like, it's a lot of talk, I guess, in blogs and websites and lifestyle stuff and whatever about, black women having a hard time being married and being successful and having careers and being 40 years old and unmarried and no kids. And the statistics are very high for black women in this situation. And black men tend to find people and get married, and a lot of black women are waiting for black men. And black men marry whoever the fuck they want. They not waiting for no black woman. They not waiting for you. And that's why people like Chili, or it was a lady wrote a book, I forgot her name, he was going to try to talk to her, are saying, black women, stop waiting on black men. Go date other people. Because they not waiting. And then people get offended. Oh, they're trying to take down the black family. Listen, some people might be trying to take down the black family. But these women are people. When people say date outside your race or date other people, they're telling you stop sitting up by yourself at night when you want somebody to eat with you and watch Netflix with you. Stop sitting up waiting for him to be black. If he's Filipino, give him a shot. If he's Spanish, give him a shot. Stop waiting for. We all human beings. So stop waiting for this stereotypical, this shit you see. Y'all ain't Barack and Michelle. You're not. So stop trying to be. And that's the point. Women, when people say date outside your race or date outside the box or that's the point. They're not trying to bring down black love and bring down the black family. They're saying black women stop waiting on black men because they ain't waiting for your ass. If a black man meet a beautiful Filipino woman and he fall in love with her and thinks she wonderful, he gonna marry her. He's not gonna say I love you and you beautiful, but I'm not gonna marry because you ain't black. Black men ain't doing that shit. They not. And you can't sit around and men. I've never heard of a man sitting around for 10, 15 years trying to fix no woman. I never heard of it.
Ever.
If anybody has an example, please
redlovebeyond@gmail.com.
Yeah, add us somewhere, Instagram somewhere, and let us know the example of a man that sat around for 10
seriously,
years.
if you know of one, please prove us wrong, because I can't think of any.
It could be anonymous. It could be XYZ, whatever the case is, whatever you want to put.
Kim's fixing Kanye. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of any.
And the only thing he's gave her a little validation is marrying her after a sex tape, being famous for a sex tape. That's the only validation he's ever. Other than that,
crazy.
Right. Other than that, he ain't done nothing for her. And I guarantee you, if Kim started running around acting as crazy as Kanye, his ass would be gone. If she wasn't the anchor in that relationship, he would be gone.
He be gone.
But somebody got to be sane. So if she crazy and he crazy,
right?
It can't nobody help him. Who's gonna help him? She already can't help him.
No, I can't think of one man. I mean, even Tommy Lee left Pam Anderson. And she was a little, and then he gave her Hep C. I'm just saying, a little Hep C.
But yeah, even
together.
like celebrity-wise, if you could think of somebody who, I mean, both of them admitted that the person stayed with the woman, even though she was, even when you look, Bobby got clean. Bobby wasn't clean that long before he was out, left Whitney ass.
Yeah.
Bobby got clean. Whitney didn't want to get clean. Bobby was gone. As long as they was getting high together, it was cool. When Bobby got clean, Whitney didn't want to, gone.
I can't think of any. But please, 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 if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Think you can. I don't know. I can't think of shit.
Nope. I got nothing.
Nope.
Vince might have put up with Tamar crazy ass for a while, but Vince is gone.
Damn.
Divorce. I don't know. Like we said, if you can think of a Mr. Fix-It let us know.
Challenge.
Yeah, and not fixing it as in he got out the gutter because she ain't had no money. He had money and he got us some Gucci bags. Nah, not that kind of fix it.
No.
Not a financial fix it. She was spiritually broken and he boosted her, carried her wounded body up the steps like the medieval knight and fixed her and stuck by her for years and years and years, and she had relapses back into brokenness, and he stuck by her anyway.
Tyler Perry needs to make a film about that to make it happen.
Wrote a song about it, like the hit.
Here goes.
Here you go.
Somebody needs to shit. Well, that's all I got today.
Yeah, stop being misfix-it, ladies.
Yeah.
And, you know, not saying don't support somebody or stick by them, but that ride or die shit is about to be 2019. Kill it. It's over.
Yeah.
Rough Riders is over. That shit need to be over
You
too.
said Rough Riders.
Swizz Beatz and Eve is moved on. Eve's married to a billionaire. Swizz is married to Alicia Keys. Ain't nobody riding or dying nowhere.
No.
So stop. That mantra is over. It's 2019. Let's go.
All right. Well, you can find us at Bed Love Beyond on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we still have our Audible deal going on if you'd like to get a free book. I don't know what's out there. It was the Michelle Obama book, right?
Yeah, Becoming. Michelle Obama's reading it. So you can order Becoming. Go to our Bed Love Beyond /Audible. What's that?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember what it is, but we'll put it up on our Facebook page so you can click on it and go straight to it and get a free Audible download. And you can maybe listen to that. Everyone says the book is great. Yep. Barack says it's great. So
she's selling a book every 9 seconds.
Really?
Yep. I think she sold. Damn. What did they say? Like 10 million in a day or something? Something like that. She sold millions of books within a week, though. I know that for a fact.
Damn.
So
yeah.
Listen to it. It's really good so far. I've read here and there. I gave it to my mom to read first, but I read through it and I've watched her interviews and.
Yeah, it's audibletrial.com/Bed Love Beyond.
Yep.
So get that. And then April's at Miss April Speaks and A Truth Complex on WordPress. And you can call us at 201-862-8BED, but you never do. Maybe you will in 2019. And you can listen to us on Podbean, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. So share us with a friend. It was Giving Tuesday last week, this week, whatever week you're listening to. And pay us forward. Tell a friend. All right. Anything else, April?
That's it.
All right. Peace.
Peace.